The Sopranos is full of some of the most memorable characters in all of television. Tony Soprano, Silvio Dante, Paulie Walnuts. These characters are rightly remembered for their rich storylines and the incredible performances of the actors who played them. Surprisingly, however, there are also a number of memorable characters who never even appeared on the show. Characters who have been mentioned and exist within the lore of the series, but never actually make an appearance on screen. Normally, such characters would be footnotes in the series and forgotten by 99% of the audience. But The Sopranos is such a memorable and well-written show that even these unseen characters leave an impression. And in today's video, I'll be going over who they are and what we know about them.
Nobody knows anything.
Let's start off with perhaps the most long-running of the unseen characters, Harpo Soprano. First mentioned in Season 2, Harpo is the son of Janice from her first marriage to a French-Canadian man named Eugene. Harpo was born in Seattle while Janice was living there, and was named after the song Harpo's Blues by Phoebe Snow. Sometime before the series began, Eugene took Harpo back with him to Montreal. Janice claimed that she petitioned the State Department to get her son back, but was unsuccessful. Harpo is mentioned multiple times throughout the series, usually by Tony, who always gets his name wrong. Harpo eventually changed his name to Hal, probably because he didn't like sharing a name with a Marx brother. Later on, Harpo became a street person. He has no relationship with Janice, who it is implied abandoned him. This is a very touchy topic for Janice, and something that Tony has used to get under her skin.
Sacre bleu, where is me mama?
However, Harpo is not the only recurring family member to never appear on screen. Some fans might not even be aware of this, but Carmela actually has an unnamed sister. Though she doesn't ever appear, she's mentioned offhandedly a few times.
Alright, so you can be fucked up with the empty nest syndrome and go on Wellbutrin like your sister.
What's weird though is the context of how she's mentioned. She's originally stated to live in New Jersey, as Tony has to pick Carmela up from her house. However, later she's mentioned to be living in Florida, so either this is a retcon or she moved since that mention.
If you don't want to accompany me, fine. Your sister can come up from Florida.
Come on, she's not gonna do that.
It's possible that Carmela's sister might be named Patty. In the Season 1 finale, Meadows suggests going to Aunt Patty's house. There's no Aunt Patty that we know of on Tony's side, which might mean that this is Carmela's sister. Of course, it might also be some family friend that they just call their aunt, which is something they tend to do in this culture, so we can't say for certain if this is Carmela's sister or not.
Dad, give it up. We're not gonna make it to Aunt Patty's.
Speaking of Carmela though, we should mention Angelo Stamfa. Before Carmela married Tony, she was dating a boy named Angelo Stamfa, who later opened a chain of drugstores. Carmela's mother Mary preferred Angelo, and wished that her daughter would have married him instead of a gangster.
He's no Angelo Stamford, that's all.
What is that supposed to mean?
You know Angelo was dying to marry you. And now, Stamford's is a chain of drugstores.
So what, he doesn't need therapy?
Tony later brings up Angelo when he's fighting with Carmela in Whitecaps. He says that despite what her mother thinks, the real boyfriend she was serious about besides Tony was a guy named Jerry Toofy, whose father owned a snowplow business. Even as a teenage girl, Carmela's love was guided by who would have the most money to take care of her.
And your mother can talk all she wants about what's his name and his fucking chain of drugstores. You and I both know that the other boyfriend you were debating marrying was Jerry Toofy with his father's snowplow business.
But speaking of business, let me thank the sponsors of today's video, IntelliWar: Ascension to the Throne. IntelliWar: Ascension to the Throne is a physical tabletop strategy game for 2 to 4 players. Players compete for control of the Silver Throne, and a full match lasts approximately 40 minutes. You assemble a unique army of units with their own abilities, and no two games are ever the same. It's a carefully crafted strategic experience wrapped in a beautifully designed fantasy aesthetic. If you're a fan of the tactile tabletop experience, you need to check out this game. IntelliWar: Ascension to the Throne was a successful Kickstarter project, and now they're doing pre-orders until the end of February at a special price. Get Kickstarter exclusive components, a 2-sided neoprene playmat, and exclusive units and additional inbox content by following my link in the pinned comment. Thanks again to Remarkable Games for supporting the channel, And let's get back to the video.
Fuck the Parker Brothers, just play the game.
Next, let's talk about another set of recurring characters, those two black guys. Though technically not real characters, as these guys don't actually exist, they are a recurring element in the series. The mobsters are constantly blaming their crimes on non-existent black guys, and black people being scapegoated is a recurring theme of the series. I'm not going to go into the whole thing here, but check out my Many Saints of Newark video for more information about that. Either way though, the motif was so prominent that one of the episodes of Season 5 is literally named Unidentified Black Males.
Fucking Irvington. 2 black guys jumped me outside a bar.
With half of them locked up making grilled cheese, you'd think there wouldn't be so many around to make trouble.
The pattern of hiding behind non-existent black people goes even further to another character, Kaisha. In Season 6, Christopher sleeps with Juliana Skiff, a real estate agent whom Tony was previously interested in. In order to hide the relationship from him, he claims to be dating a fictional black girl named Kaisha.
Between us, she's black.
Oh, you're bagging a shine?
She's hot, too. Classy.
What's funny is that the name Kaisha doesn't come out of nowhere. In Season 4, Christopher hires 2 black guys to kill Carmine Lupertazzi. He chooses black guys in particular so that it won't lead back to them. Again, to my point about scapegoating.
It should look like a carjack.
See? That's why you came to us. That's some stereotyping shit.
One of the hitmen, though, has a baby mama named Kaisha, whom he is trying to hide the money from in order to avoid paying child support. Christopher obviously heard the name from this guy, so when he invented his fake Black Kumar, he chose the name Kaisha.
Yeah, she's a friend of Kaisha, the black one I was telling you about.
Now, Corky Iannucci is an interesting character. He's a professional arsonist. In the pilot episode, Silvio is seen blowing up Vesuvio in an attempt to prevent Junior from staging a hit in a restaurant and ruining Artie's business. There's no other person in the scene, and no suggestion that anyone besides Sil had anything to do with it. However, later in the series, when Pio Mai's stables burned down, Tony suspects that Ralph was behind it for the insurance money. He asks Ralph if he had seen Corky lately, and reveals that he was the one who helped Silvio burn down Vesuvio. This is a retcon, of course, but it helps connect back to an existing part of the story. It's stated that Corky is very good at making fires look like an accident, which is what you want when you're looking for an insurance payout. Although technically this goes against what we saw in the pilot, as the insurance company suspects arson and denied Artie's payout because of that. Either way though, Ralph denies burning down the stables, and we'll never know if he was behind the fire or not.
How's Corky Iannucci? You heard from him lately? You know, Sil used him in that restaurant fire. Excellent work.
Another mob-related unseen character is Rocco DeMeo. Rocco is brought up multiple times by Richie Aprile, who proudly retells the story of how he beat Rocco up and stole his prized jacket off of him.
The jacket? I took off Rocco DeMeo.
Oh, yeah.
Cocksucker had the toughest reputation in Essex County, but he never came back after I got through with him.
Rocco's relationship to the New Jersey mob is unknown, as the official name of the organization is the DeMeo family. But it's possible that Rocco's reputation as the toughest guy in Essex County might be overstated by Richie. Junior says that Rocco later died of Alzheimer's, implying that he might have been quite a bit older already by the time of Richie's fight with him. Richie might have beaten up an old man, which is not quite the accomplishment he makes it out to be. Either way, we'll never know, but Rocco is still a very memorable character due to the jacket memes alone.
Well, I think of that jacket I gave your brother, and he spit on it. I could slice an ear off his head.
Finally, before we get to the most iconic of the unseen characters, let's do a few honorable mentions. Some of you might be thinking that little Pussy Malonga should be on this final spot. After all, Junior's longtime adversary is mentioned throughout the show. In the pilot, he's the reason Vesuvio gets blown up in order to prevent Junior from hitting him there. And when Junior is suffering from dementia, he shoots Tony thinking that he's Malonga there to get him, despite the fact that he's been dead for years.
Gazzada, Malanga!
However, Little Pussy actually does appear briefly in a news story about his arrest after he returns to New Jersey, so technically, he's not an unseen character.
Little Pussy Malanga, sometimes confused with fellow reputed mobster Big Pussy Bombacero, had just returned from Florida when he was
So it's gonna go down soon.
Feech LaManna might have been an unseen character as well. He's mentioned a few times in the series before his actual appearance. An old-school mobster who was made on the other side, he is a pivotal part of Tony's origin, having robbed Feech LaManna's card game along with Jackie Aprile in order to gain respect.
When you and my kid brother stuck up Feech LaManna's card game, Feech was made before the electric light. If it wasn't for me, you two kids would have caught a vicious beating, to say the least.
However, Feech would later appear in the actual series. His introduction was the invention of Terrence Winter, who offhandedly remembered that the character had never been stated to have died. He decided to write him into the show, and they cast the legendary Robert Loggia for the role.
You know, we had always talked about this legendary mobster named Feech LaManna. And at the beginning of the show, at the beginning of the season, I said to the writer's assistant, have we ever said that Feech LaManna is alive or dead? And she came back in and she said, no, I went through all the scripts. We've just referenced them. So I said, well, what if Feech LaManna is getting out of jail and he's an old guy? Let's meet him.
Alright, without further ado, let's get to the most iconic of the unseen characters, Pudgy Walsh. Now, unlike the other characters on this list, Pudgy is only mentioned a single time. When Carmela is trying to build her spec house, she partners up with her father, who owns a construction company. He cuts corners with the build, leading to the site being shut down. He tries to get Pudgy, a corrupt inspector, to help, but unfortunately he's retired by that point.
Get Pudgy Walsh on the horn. He'll straighten this out.
Pudgy Walsh retired, sir.
These two lines are the entirety of the character, much less than some of these other unseen characters. But despite that, Pudgy is one of the most iconic memes in the community. I don't know if it's just his funny name, but the Pudgy lines are some of the most quoted lines by the Sopranos community. What's interesting though is the fact that there is a real-life Pudgy Walsh. A beloved lieutenant firefighter in New York, Pudgy was also the coach of the Brooklyn Mariners football team. I have no idea if the Sopranos character was named after this guy, but given the very unique name, I have to assume he was. Chase was known for naming characters after friends and family, so maybe he knew this guy somehow. Either way, Pudgy passed away in 2016, so RIP to a legend. You're handling building clearance disputes in heaven now. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Let me know your favorite unseen character in the comments, and stay tuned for more Sopranos content coming soon. You know who's not unseen? My patrons. Matt Joyce, Uncle Mike, Sam Cedarland, Celery Man, Cheshire, Brandon Taylor, James Johnson, Wolfgang, No Name, River, Jod Usable, and Dylan Underwood.